Hi guys, welcome to my December wrap up. I read a hell of a lot of books in December. I read 13, so I'm going to talk very fast. The first book that I read in December was The Secrets of Drearcliff Grange School by Kim Newman. It was dark, it was creepy, it was original, completely different. Our main character goes to a boarding school for girls, and their parents are all like crazy scientists or criminals or magicians or whatever, and some of them have crazy cool powers. I don't want to give too much away, but it really felt like a superhero origin and I just loved it. It was amazing. So yeah, you guys should check this one out. The second book that I read in December was A Mad Zombie Party by Gina Showalter. There is a book talk for this and I will link it so you guys can talk about it too. This is the fourth book in a series that I thought was going to be a trilogy. You have Alice, she thinks her dad's crazy, he sees monsters, and there's this huge accident and she finally sees the monsters and she goes to a new school and there's this group and they fight the monsters and she becomes a badass zombie fighter, and there's a shadowy corporation, because there is always a shadowy corporation who are like, oh yeah, we'll just use the zombies to like gain eternal life because that makes so much sense. Yeah, they want to use the zombies to get eternal life, in case you didn't get that. The romance is amazing, the action and adventure is amazing. It's a little bit cheesy sometimes, I know it is, I fully admit that, but we all have a bit of cheese sometimes. And then we have this. I was so apprehensive going into this because I loved Frosty and Cat, and the ending broke my heart, and I was all set to hate Miller in this, but I ended up loving her and I loved her and Frosty. But there were so many points in the book where I was like squealing at the romance, but I was at the same time so heartbroken for Cat, and it was the perfect end for the book, I'm not gonna lie. The third book that I read in December was The School for Good and Evil. I'm so glad I finally read it. I'm so late to the School for Good and Evil game. Completely gorgeous map. It's got drawings. Every 4 years 2 kids are taken from the village. One goes to the school for good to become a princess or a hero, and one goes to the school for evil to become a villain. We had Agatha, who looks like a villain but went to the school for good, and Sophie, who looks like a princess and goes to the school for evil. There's a point in the book and I was like, oh, they're going to give Agatha a makeover and she's going to get her prince and everything's going to be amazing, but they didn't. They didn't give her a makeover, and I freaking love that, and the message that this book has, it was amazing. There is action, adventure, romance, it's funny, and it just has everything you want in a book, and it's so perfect. The fourth book that I read in December was Witch Hunter by Virginia Boecker. The second book of this is one of my most anticipated books in 2016. I freaking love this book from page one. You have Elizabeth, who is a witch hunter with her best friend Caleb. They've only had each other for a while and she gets accused of witchcraft, and then the like witches and sorcerers save her, and then she has to help them save their leader, and then there's all these lies and betrayals and it all comes out, and it's just so amazing. There were so many twists and turns that I did not see coming. I mean, just what she was accused of witchcraft for and why, I didn't see that coming. It was slightly darker than what I was expecting. There is a book chat for this up that I will link you to in case you guys want to read all my feels. I ship her and John so hard. It's kind of the perfect romance. It's so cute and adorable. There is no love triangle. I know you're thinking like, oh, best friend, his name is Caleb, he must be a guy. I bet there's a love triangle. There is not a love triangle, don't worry. I kind of did ship her with Caleb in the beginning, but then I saw the light. But yeah, there's action, adventure, romance. The romance, like I keep saying, is so perfect. And it has everything you want in a book. There's a specific page in this book where I had to put it down and just, they're fictional characters, they're not real, it's not real, calm down. And then I started reading again because it was like, is it real or is it not real? Yes, Hunger Games fans. And then I read again and it was like, oh my god, it's real. Oh my god, it's real. And then something else happened and I like threw the book on the bed and I was just like, no, I can't even. But I don't think the author has actually done the thing. I think she wants us to think she's done the thing, but she hasn't actually done the thing, but we will see. The next book that I read in December was At First Sight by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I loved her The Naturals books. It's like a teen Criminal Minds and it's so creepy and so well done, and I'm desperate for the third book, but I have the paperbacks and I don't think the third one's being published over here, so I'm kind of waiting for the hardcover to become a paperback. Our main character, but she's alive, but she's kind of like a ghost. People don't see her. Their gaze kind of moves past her. They don't take notice of her. And the boy in this is sent to kill her because he's also like her and he's an assassin who kills psychopaths. and he thinks that she is a psychopath, and then he finds out that she is exactly like he is, and everything he knows is completely wrong. And again, there's another evil corporation using him, and yeah, they have to untangle this whole web of lies. Kind of felt like it was a bit slow in places, but I still loved it. The next book that I read in December was Dead of Winter by Cresley Cole. This I'm not going to say much about because I don't want to spoil it. When I thought this was just a trilogy, I didn't mind the cover change, but now I'm going to have to rebuy the first 2 books with the new covers because there's going to be 2 more books. But yeah, love this book. I loved being back in the world of the book. There's a book talk for this coming because we need to discuss the ending. Who ends a book like that? The other 2 books end on cliffhangers, okay? This cliffhanger is in no way manageable. Like, literally, I wanted to scream and I wanted to throw the book all the way across the room and never look at it again. I don't know how I'm going to last waiting for the next book, but just who ends a book like that? It was just like, literally, not today, Satan, not today. I can't even. It was just completely just... I was loving the book, I was loving it. The love triangle is solved, I believe, which is great because usually I can pick a team from day 1, but I couldn't choose between the 2, so I'm glad. I was happy with the character's choice. I was loving where the story's going, being moved along, and then the ending of the book happened and I was just like, fuck no, fuck no. If you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, prepare yourselves, just... The ending is not okay. It's really not okay. I can't believe the ending of this book. I can't believe it. I genuinely can't. This book is awesome. There's fiery apocalypse. Not many people survive. Some kids find out that they're members of the Arcana and they're basically reincarnated every however many years to basically play a giant Hunger Games across the world using their cool Arcana powers to kill everyone until they're the last person standing. It's kind of like Pokemon because whenever they kill another member of the Arcana, they get like a mark on their hand, so it's like, gotta catch them all. Gotta get them all. Okay now. Totally works. This is why I don't sing. The 7th book that I read in December was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Oh my god. I said in my January TBR that I haven't reread these since Deathly Hallows, and oh my god, I've watched the films, but the films are just not the same as the book. And rereading this, I just forgot how much that I love the book. And oh my god, I'm just reading it. Oh god, there's bits that aren't in the film, obviously. I mean Peeves. Where is Peeves? Why couldn't Peeves be in the film? Peeves is life. He cracks me up. I love Peeves. I just forgot how much I love these books. And rereading it was so amazing. To reread, it's the best idea I've ever had, let's be honest. The 8th book that I read in December was Truthwitch by Susan Dennard. I freaking love this book. One of my favourite books of 2016 already. I love it. It's one of my new favourite series. I completely loved this book from the first page and I knew I was going to love it, and it just got better and better and better. I mean, I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil it for you. The world of the book is completely original. There's all these different kinds of witches and our main character is a truth witch, which is incredibly rare. And if people find out what she is, they're going to use her for political gain. Or they'll kill her so other people can't use her, basically. And they basically try to rob the wrong person, so they have to flee from their home. And it's this massive adventure to get Safi where she needs to go. There's romance. Oh my god. The romance is just so cute. The romance is so cute and so perfectly done. I was talking to Shazina, and I'll link her blog below, and I just had to tell her that when I met Merrick in this book, Damon Black from Lux didn't get a light nudge out of the way. He got a full body shove out of the way. Merrick is my new bae. I love Merrick. He's my new fave. Trying to pace myself so I didn't read it too fast, but I could not stop reading. I completely loved it, and I just, oh my god, it was just so perfect. And oh my god, and the ending. I need the next book like yesterday. I really do, because this book is freaking amazing. And the ending was just, oh my god, how am I supposed to wait for the next book? How am I supposed to wait for the next book? My baes are separated, and I can't handle it. Why, Susan? Why? It's also the kind of book I can really imagine being turned into a film, because it just has that cinematic quality to it where you can picture it in your head and how the scenes would be set up and everything. But maybe that's just me because of the whole I'm an actor thing. I didn't get Sea Fox for Christmas and I'm devastated. buy the book. Buy this book. It's freaking amazing. You guys are going to love it just as much as I did. I know you are. So just buy it and do yourselves a favour. It's just freaking amazing. It's original. There's romance, there's action, there's adventure. It's just such a fantastic read. The 9th book I read in December was Sword and Verse by Cathy Macmillan. It's a very original read. The focus of the book is mostly on language. There's 2 different kinds in the book. Our main character is taken from a land where, you know, reading and writing's a thing that everyone can do, and is sold into slavery in a land where only 4 people, king, prince, tutor and tutor in training, are allowed to know how to read and write. The only thing I will say was it was a little bit slow in the beginning, and some of the jumps through time, they made things a little bit confusing, and as much as I love the romance, it did kind of seem to spring up out of nowhere because we didn't really see the 2 characters getting to know each other. But once the book gets going, it's a fantastic read. The 10th book that I read in December was Frontlines by Michael Grant. Fully expecting this not to show up on the camera. I don't know why I haven't read a Michael Grant book before. I cannot read every book ever, is the only answer I have. It's an alternate World War II where girls are sent off to fight alongside the men. Very ethnically diverse book, which also makes it incredibly interesting to see how each girl is treated where they are, not just for being a girl, but because of how they look. So good. It's so good. You get 3 different points of view, and it's just all the way from enlisting through to training camp through to the first fight. So incredibly well done and so authentic, and it was just amazing. The 11th book that I read in December was Newt's Emerald by Garth Nix. Again, this is my first book by the author. I actually have a Sabriel on my shelf over there. Yeah, it's really pretty. Truthful/Newt is supposed to inherit this family emerald when she turns 18, and it goes missing, and she has to go up to London to try and find it, but being the time that it is, she has to dress up as a guy to do it, and she enlists the help of, what is his name? I said it wrong last time. What is his name? I don't want to say it wrong again. Major Harnett. She enlists the help of Major Harnett. I have to pronounce it that way because I keep saying Hartnett, as in Josh Hartnett. There's magic, there's an evil sorceress, there's action and adventure, and there's romance, and the romance was totally and completely cute. So completely perfect and exactly what I was in the mood for, and I'm really hoping that the author decides to do more books with Newt, because I loved it. The 12th book that I read in December was The Archive by Victoria Schwab. Look at the end papers though. So I'm a huge fan of her work. I got to review A Darker Shade of Magic, and I completely loved it. It was one of my favourite books of the year. It was original, it was fun, it was just freaking amazing, and I'm so excited for A Gathering of Shadows to come out very, very soon. I've seen some tweets that are worrying me because I have a feeling I'm going to have a lot of feels and there's going to be like book throwing action. In this book, our main character is a keeper and she works for the archive, and the archive is where your soul goes when you die. You become history, and they kind of read you. I don't want to give away too much. They read you, and our main character is a keeper, and she has to make sure the more violent ones, or any in general really, don't get out into the main world. I did not see that twist coming. I knew the guy was shady, okay? I'm not stupid. I knew he was shady. He called her by a certain name, and that's when I was just like, dude, no. I knew he was shady as, and I knew nothing good was going to come of it. And then I didn't quite manage to put all of the pieces together. I was completely like, what? Should have seen that coming. It was freaking insane. I'm so excited to get my hands on the next book, and I think the author is doing a 3rd book, but I'm not sure. The final book that I read in December was Half a King by Joe Abercrombie. I can see why you guys rave about him, really I can. I kind of bumped this up the TBR. I have Blade itself on my shelf, don't shout at me. I have it on my shelf. I just bumped it because I realised my December TBR has no books that are in any way set at Christmas, and this has a snowflake on the cover, so that would do for a December read. I was trying to work out why I'd bought this in hardcover as well when I hadn't read the other book, and then, you know, I kind of opened it and I was like, oh, giant map end papers. That would be why. This book was so amazing. I loved it. The prince, he was completely not what I was expecting. He's not your usual prince. He is not perfect, which is what I loved. He and his ragtag band of misfits have to travel across the country and, you know, murder his uncle casually to get his throne back. And there were so many amazing twists that I didn't see coming, and I loved the characters and I loved the world, and it was just amazing. Okay, you guys need to pester me harder to read some books, okay? That was my December wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The links to the book talks are going to be down below. The links to Shazina's blog is going to be down below, as well as the book depository links. I'm an affiliate, so if you could use those links, it'd be doing me a favour. Links to all my social media are down below, so come say hey. So I hope to see you soon.